Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And this week, we're nibbling on things. It's a holiday, right? It's the
so
official
true.
eating holiday.
That is
There's
true,
shots
for real.
of turkeys. There's shots of corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's it. They didn't really show. They show one pie.
oh, there's cranberry sauce.
There's a pie dish.
Cranberry sauce. Don't forget about the cranberry sauce.
There's a waffle maker. Let's not forget.
There's great
classic Thanksgiving food.
And what other movie would we be doing on Thanksgiving but Thanksgiving?
It was the obvious choice. It was right there.
It just writes itself, honestly. It really does.
And honestly, I feel like since Monica did a Grindhouse Halloween theme, this movie was a Grindhouse trailer in between.
Like a natural follow-up.
Exactly. Like, I just feel like it's just so fitting and so perfect.
Natural follow-up to my Halloween party. Yes, I couldn't agree more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you haven't seen Thanksgiving, IMDb says, after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday.
That's true.
I will say, I love all of the like kind of bad, half-assed Massachusetts accents.
I love them, and
look, the actress who played Lizzie, that's her real accent, okay? She's really from Hanover, Massachusetts, and she's the 9th descended niece from John Carver for real, okay? So
and it shows.
Watch what the fuck you're talking about.
No,
that's like verbatim to the IMDb trivia. Chelsea,
yeah, I memorized
it. Great job. I was like, whoa, I feel like I just read that. This
9th descended grandniece, that wasn't exactly what they said, but you got the gist.
Nice. I think that's a thing. That could be a thing.
Something like that.
I forgot the one thing I wanted to do between when I got home, which was 10 minutes ago, and when we started recording, and that was rewatch the OG Grindhouse trailer.
Don't worry, I got you. I mean, I'm sure you wanted to see it for yourself, but I did do that, and I took notes on what was a similarity between the two.
I'm gonna watch it while we record right now.
Okay. Go off, Queen.
I'm
Get crazy, girl.
I'm multitasking. Let's see if I can say anything coherent.
Sydney and I talk amongst ourselves in the meantime, or
no. It's just kind of playing vibes in the background. But I will say
the voiceover.
Okay, I know it's Eli Roth, and he's doing a spooky voice, and I know that they tried to emulate the spooky voice.
Modulated with the microphone when he has the microphone on his mask.
Oh my god. Okay.
You know what that reminded me of?
So hard.
Scream 3, which is a Patrick Dempsey film as well.
Yes.
That's a thing. So I watched, I was the only person who'd seen this before, right? I paused the trailer. Okay, don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, give us your full attention, Monica.
I know, I'm so sorry. I will be going to half attention again in a second, but
that's cool. Make it through this speech, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. One step at a time.
We're a team.
But I was the only one who's seen this before, right? You guys haven't?
Yeah, this is my first time watching it.
Okay, yeah. See, here's this thing. There's this thing. I'm holding my pasty on the fucking.
You needed something to gesture with, and it was right there.
It was right there.
Look, here's what the pasty has to say. Beep, 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 beep. Can you make it talk into the mic?
The adhesive is gonna get fucked up from this. Something else for my hand. I'll use my Tashman Home Center paint can stress ball. Whoa. Okay, we're back on track. I can't believe I just did that. But honestly, I watched this before, and I do this thing nowadays where I'm like, I'm gonna just like watch a movie while I'm doing something else, and it's a movie I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh, it's not that good. Well, maybe it's not that good because you didn't watch it, bitch. Because I liked it a lot more this time around.
That'll
I
do
feel
it
like,
sometimes. Sometimes you're missing that nuance.
yeah, I
And
mean,
that
this is
obviously this is such a nuanced film.
that's the thing about this movie that I really like is that it's like really deep and really emotional, and it's something that like hit me at my core, and I wasn't necessarily
Exactly.
anticipating that,
Yeah.
but that's certainly how I feel. No, but it's like it's a lot more fun than I originally thought, and there's a lot more like nuanced, how about this, references to other movies than I was
Sure.
realizing before, which makes it such a fun watch because it's definitely like an ode to horror fans, and that's all it's trying to be, just like a fun romp and like, hey, let's release our brains, we've had a rough couple of weeks. I feel like it was nice.
I'd agree with that.
And also, here's 2023 sexiest man alive, Patrick Dempsey.
Ugh, he's
Crazy
so
that it took
sexy.
until 2023. Those awards are so political.
Well, I
What
gotta
did he
say
even
that
have going on in 2023?
I don't know, but his gray hair. This movie, this is what he had going on in 2023. This movie came
He
out
was probably
last year.
promoting this movie.
It was this movie,
Oh my
literally.
God.
This was his big
Upcoming
thing.
Thanksgiving star Patrick Dempsey, the man of your dreams. Blah 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 blah.
He's
He
so
looks
hot in
really
this
good
movie.
with the gray hair.
He does look good. He does. I'm not saying he wasn't
No, I
the sexiest
know.
man of
I'm
that year.
not
I'm just
saying.
saying I would
I'm
have
not
thought his
saying
peak
you're
would
not
be
saying
like
that.
Dreamy era.
No,
He
sometimes
probably won then too, because I think you can win multiple times.
you can keep being
We're gonna
sexy
have to get into
forever
the
if you
history of
want
this
to.
You
for
can
real.
keep being sexy.
You don't have to stop being sexy, Chelsea, okay? I just want you to know that it can go on forever, and for you, I know that it will.
Aw, stop.
Aw. Here's another thing. When I
Okay.
watched this last year, I missed it in theaters. That would have been way more fun. This would have been a hoot and a half in theaters. Oh my God.
Oh, this would have been really fun in theaters.
It would have been so fun. It would have been cool if I had watched it around Thanksgiving too. So that's another thing that wasn't like a good vibe. But I knew who Addison Rae was, but I didn't give a fuck or shit about her back then. And now,
After Diet Pepsi.
Because I'm not on TikTok all the time, so I missed all of her shit. I don't know jack shit about her, but I also like Aquamarine. I like when she smokes 2 cigarettes.
I do too.
And
It's
I
very
loved her
slay.
in this movie. I thought it was hilarious. Does she act? Is she an actress?
Yeah, she's in the She's All That remake, which also so is Matthew Lillard.
God. Never mind. I take back my oh God.
He did a
I
quick little
take
cameo.
back the
Yeah.
oh God. And I say instead, that sounds like a fantastic film.
It wasn't bad. Actually, I had a good time.
Okay.
Just don't expect anything. Like, don't expect it being good. And if you do that, you'll have a great time.
Okay, I'll expect it to be really bad, actually.
Yeah.
That might help a lot. But yeah, I thought that was a lovely little cameo from Addison. And then also, I don't know, my love for Milo Manheim. Did I say his name right?
Yep.
Did I say it?
Yeah.
I've never said
Yeah,
that out
yeah,
loud
yeah.
before.
No, you did great.
My love for him grows daily. And
Yeah.
so to see
I
him
love
again,
him.
even though he plays a light douche, just lightly a douche, like a
Yeah.
douche, but like not that bad. Delightful. I adore him. And apparently Eli Roth has known him since he was a baby just
1 day
born.
old.
Right?
1 day old. Yeah, I read the
One
trivia this time because I couldn't find any articles that were giving me what I fucking cared about. I was like, we're doing trivia.
Well, there was literally so much trivia that I gave up at some point. So hopefully you can cover where I stopped.
I should have started from the bottom. I too started from the top, and I got about to the part where it said the 1 day old thing, and that's it. So
Okay,
you
so we
probably
bailed
passed
around the
me.
same spot.
Yeah. But yeah, delightful. The cast was delightful, and also I feel like there are a lot more people who I was supposed to be like, wow, that guy. But no, I only know Patrick Dempsey and
You didn't
Addison
go
Rae and Milo.
Rick Hoffman from Suits, the TV show Suits.
No,
I knew him.
He's also in Hostel 2, I think,
Yeah.
as it turns out.
I
And
know
here's
the
the thing
name,
too.
Maybe one of the hostels.
Amanda, the woman who gets scalped, she's in
Gina
Showgirls.
Gershon.
Gina
She's
Gershon.
also in Bound.
I've never seen that.
That's why everybody
That's
gives
what we
a
need to do
shit
for
about her.
homoerotic thriller month. 1 month. Maybe Pride. I don't know if we want to give all of
We
Pride to
could do
thrillers, but
thrillers. We
we
could
do it
do
whenever.
thrillers at
Homoerotic
any time.
homoerotic thriller
We could do
month.
thrillers at any time because it
Yeah,
says
it's
thrillers
in our tagline.
It's in our tag. It's
I
in
know,
our
I'm
opening.
just saying, like, do we want to give a whole month to it? Yes, I think is the answer.
She's also in Chucky. I watched the one episode of the Chucky TV show that she was in as well. So that's another thing that happened. And she's in Emily the Criminal. I wanted to see that, but I didn't
Wow.
see it. But I love
But
you,
maybe
Aubrey
one day you
Plaza.
will.
Maybe I
Yeah.
will. Probably not.
Now
I
that you
feel
know
like
that
that's
there's
kind of past.
two
People that I
hotties who
lightly know.
played
Gina,
gay. I don't know what Gina Gershon's real life
she's
deal
really
is.
hot. This is making me more enticed to see Bound. I already knew it was hot and sexy, but I didn't know like specifically.
Yeah,
And now I know
she's
specifically
playing
it's
like
Gina.
a little butch, and Jennifer Tilly is there, and
Oh
she's
my
playing
God.
like the mob girlfriend.
Oh, well, that's why she's in Chucky. That's why she's in one episode of
Mm,
Chucky because
'cause they're
Jennifer
nice, good
Tilly's in
friends.
Bound. Yeah, and
Mm.
Jennifer Tilly is the bride of Chucky, bitch. That's a
Mhm.
movie we have to do on the podcast. Oh my God. But I mean, I just fucking love a holiday slasher movie.
I do too.
I
And
love it. It's silly.
this movie really gives me My Bloody Valentine vibes.
Mm,
I did see that
yes.
in IMDb trivia as like an inspiration poll for sure, especially with the kills.
Like,
Well,
that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And as I was watching it, I was having an absolute blast because I was like, yeah, this is how you would do like a modern day that different holiday, but like same exact vibe.
Well, yeah, it's totally the same thing. Small town, anniversary of a tragedy where many
Love
people were
triangle.
killed. Yeah, I didn't even think about the love triangle
Whoa.
part. I forgot about that.
I bet that love triangle was very purposefully there to be part of setup and suggestion. Possibly as a direct reference to My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, no, I feel like this was all about the homage to past movies. I mean, we already brought up Scream for a second there, but I loved The Mask. I loved that they're giving out the mask at the local diner. I thought it was a very creepy mask. I did not know until reading the fucking IMDb trivia that John Carver is
Was
a real
dude.
guy.
The real descendant in this movie, as discussed.
Real pilgrim man or whatever.
From the Mayflower.
What a fucking perfect name, by the by. Because
no wonder
Carver,
they
carving bitches up.
The Carver. That's what they called the killer. Not at all in the movie, as far as I could tell, but in the making of the movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. One thing from the IMDb trivia that I fucking loved, and maybe I'll try to pull it up exactly, but was because basically I know from reading this and from watching the trailer before, the original trailer from Grindhouse has a completely different story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And the story that was the idea for that trailer that Eli Roth made back in 07 or probably 06 was that there was a boy and he was in love with his turkey, and so his dad killed the turkey for Thanksgiving and he went fucking wild and he killed his whole family, and then he was institutionalized, and then he came back years later to massacre the whole town. That's what it is. But they weren't gonna make that movie, and so here
What?
this is
Why
yeah,
not?
Cowards!
they
Cowards!
coulda.
I want
feel
it.
Give us the turkey furry man.
Give us the turkey fucker.
I'm
We
interested
didn't know
in
that
it.
he fucked that turkey. They
just were in
could have
love.
just been in love. Could have been
There's lots
courtly
of-
love, like a
lots of
knight and
different
a
kinds of
princess.
Platonic
love.
soulmate loves.
Whose love shall never be, but exists nonetheless.
But okay, this is the quote from Eli Roth from Total Film Magazine. Thank you for texting this to me, Chelsea.
You're
Credit where credit is
welcome.
due. This is the quote. We said, let's pretend Thanksgiving, the original one, was a movie from 1980 that was so offensive that every print was destroyed. All the scripts were burned. The director disappeared. The crew members changed their names. One person saved the trailer and uploaded it to the darkest corners of 4chan, and now it's made it out. So this is a 2023 reboot. Once we said that, it freed us up. So I think they were
Slay.
like, they had to create this lie to be
This
able
whole
to
lore.
leave behind the original concept. And I'm like, girl, whatever makes you sleep
Girl,
well
who
at
was
night.
asking, but glad to hear
Eli
it.
Roth is an artiste.
Look,
He
as
lives
a
his
writer,
craft.
I get that sometimes you're like, I need to make this up in my own brain. I need to make this right in my own heart so that I can move forward with the art. And until I do that, I'm stuck. And so it doesn't matter that this is not information the audience is ever going to be privy to. I need to know my starting blocks as an artist.
This is Chelsea Tulpa level, TBH. This is like, I've created a beautiful dream that really enriches the story that is not on the page. And we're all happier for it.
And we're all
Definitely.
so happy. And they already got okayed for Thanksgiving too. I think basically literally days after this came out last year. I saw that it was like November 30th. Eli Roth posted on Instagram or something. But I also saw a Variety article about it from August where he was talking about one of the stars coming back. But I no spoilers yet for who makes it. But I do feel if they're kicking off a franchise, at some point we could get Thanksgiving 3 that is about the making of Thanksgiving as a haunted production after everybody disappeared from the 1980 Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like, I think they can really get in there. So
it's getting crazy.
They're absolutely
you gotta open the door, babe.
They're doing it like the sequel's coming next year.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
but
there was
I think
a
it's gonna be
sequel.
a normal sequel, and then I think
Yeah.
we can get crazy after that.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Whatever, I'll watch it. I'll fucking
They
watch
left
it. This
space
was not
for a
offensive.
sequel. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Was it screaming for a sequel? No, but
Oh yeah, they did leave space for a sequel. I forgot. Yeah, they did. They let glaring space for a
they
sequel.
did a I know what you did last
Yes,
summer sort of
yes.
space for a sequel.
They did literally pigeon pin in that because that's another homage that's happening right there. Not a cow pin. This is a pigeon pin.
Just a little guy. And another very small homage also was to Black Christmas, actually, the original holiday slasher, because Claire from Black Christmas, who I think is the first victim, who has the fur coat, who goes missing, and then she's in the attic. She's grandma at one of the Thanksgivings in the opening of this movie. So like very small, but she's present. Lynn
Oh my god.
Farmer or something, I want to say. Let me look at my notes. Lynn Griffin.
I gotta say that it's very confusing to have watched Thanksgiving and Terrifier 3 in the same week. Honestly, because I'm like, there were so many homages, like this homage to Black Christmas. That was in Terrifier 3. That was in Terrifier 3. Honestly, yeah, I feel like Terrifier 3 has opened the doors for Thanksgiving 2 to be more disgusting because they really went there.
Right.
And also, I think also having sat through Terrifier 3, which I had a fine time, that like at maybe anything that might have been like ugh about Thanksgiving, desensitized. So maybe that's another reason why I loved it so much more this time around. But yeah, I also I was trying to say this, but we got sidetracked on Carver. The mask is very Scream. The mask is very Scream. It's like that. It's this mass-produced mask that anybody could get a hold of, and anybody does. And it's also very Happy Death Day, because
everyone's got one.
Everybody actually has one, yeah. So
it's also giving Jason a little when it like gets set down on the oven at one point, and then it comes back burned when he picks it up, and it's like
I loved that.
This is
I
my
think
destroyed
it looked a lot
mask now.
Cooler then, and I'm hoping that in the sequel, that's what they like, which mask they bring back.
The only mask that survived.
Oh, another thing that's interesting, I don't think this exists anywhere where anyone can listen to it, but I did a podcast episode with my friend Lottie, from England back in the day. It was for like a school project of hers, so I don't think that it went anywhere. But we did it on, I think it's called Black Friday. Let me look it up right now. Black Friday movie. Yeah, it's called Black Friday. Yeah, it's from 2021. It has Devin Sawa in it, bitch. But who it actually has in
Interesting.
it, Bruce Campbell is like the face on the page, you know what I
Slay.
mean?
Yeah.
And it also has, oh no, that is not the girl that I thought it was. I thought it was the girl from Community. And that's not her, it's another girl. But anyway, it's a similar kind of vibe. This was really reminding me, at least the beginning part was, except that movie kind of lives in the opening of Thanksgiving the entire time,
Yeah.
with like Black Friday gone wrong and all of that. And honestly, it was just about time that somebody did some sort of spoof or callback to that in a horror movie, because that shit has happened in the past and it's so fucking terrifying. The concept of a crowd crush is so
Yeah.
fucking scary, dude. I have to
Yeah.
say that Black Friday is about zombies though, so it is different. But
I mean,
you
Crowd
can
Crush
see,
gives zombie movie vibes,
right? It
100%.
totally
Yeah.
does, because it's like the horde, like it's the horde
Yeah.
as well here, but they're normal, just normal guys, but they just really want waffles. And I understand that, but every time you eat a
Oh my
waffle, you're gonna
I just want
figure
that
out the
God.
free
guy who
waffle
died.
machine.
But every time you eat the waffle, you'll taste their blood. You know what I mean? At least for me, I
Well,
want to
but
be
they
able
didn't
to.
know that beforehand when they were vying for waffle iron.
I know
It was
but like
pure.
once they're walking over Doug's dead fucking corpse, you know?
He'll figure it out. He'll be.
They were literally
Look, we're
they were
all
like,
on our own in this world. Blah 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 blah.
I love that they were like, you see, if you're like paying attention to some of the people, they're like ripping out waffle makers out of like dead people's hands and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
The guy who gets his throat cut by the glass, oh, that got me
Yeah,
bad
the way he's
too.
like
Yeah.
still fighting to get his waffle
He's
iron.
poor guy. Poor
Lay
Doug.
down and die, my God.
Poor, what's his name? Mickey, who got called into work on Thanksgiving. Gina Gershon's husband.
Mm.
Yeah,
Pour him
Mitch.
in multiple ways. Mitch. Poor guy. He really has it bad. It's tragic. It is tragic. I think that it's a tragedy. I've gone shopping, Black Friday shopping on Thanksgiving Eve, like, or not
Mhm.
Thanksgiving Eve, on the night of
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
evening.
Thanksgiving evening, exactly.
As Thanksgiving
Not the
Eve
vibe.
stands
Black
for, it always
Friday
has.
Eve, aka
Black
Thanksgiving.
Friday, exactly, aka Thanksgiving, and it is upsetting. You know, it's just upsetting. We should all be drunk as a skunk underneath a blanket with our family on that night. Or not this year with our family, with our chosen family. How about that? With some non-stressful humans, or at the movie theater watching something fun. But yeah, I just think that it's also super fun perspective just to have the main character be the daughter of this like big box, like, I don't know, like Target, Sears company owner in the aftermath of this tragedy. What is it called? Right Way? Is that the
Right
name
Mart.
of the store? Right Mart.
And I call it
Yeah.
Reich Mart on their signs when they're protesting
So
this year.
fucking funny. So fucking
Got
funny.
him.
I will say though, all of what's her name? Not Kathleen.
Jessica?
Jessica's friends are fucking so annoying, except for Scuba. Scuba's perfect. Nobody
Yeah.
say anything about
Justice for
Scuba. Love Scuba
Scuba
forever.
diving, as is his name.
Scuba diving. And his real first name is Claude.
Claude. Just like Jean-Claude whatever, who's the scuba diving guy. So,
See?
right? Isn't that guy's name?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking
I
about.
don't know
Scuba
any, like,
diving
famous
guy.
scuba divers.
Wasn't his name?
The only famous scuba diver I know is Scuba Steve.
Jacques Cousteau. Never mind.
Oh, I was like, what are you?
Never mind. But I feel like Jacques Cousteau as a name does give Claude vibes. So I
Yeah.
stand by
That's
that.
honestly fair. I agree. I agree.
French little bitches.
I can't believe that Gina Gershon goes down that quick, though. I would have loved to see her
Yeah.
put up a fight. But again, this is stemming from my expectation of extreme gore after Terrifier 3. I was like, can't believe her whole head didn't explode. What the fuck?
Right? This could have been way more intense, actually.
No blood splurting
Yeah.
anywhere. I didn't even gag 3 times.
Oh, amazing. But also sad because that's what you wanted.
No.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Then I'm
I'll
glad.
go back. I think I'll go back to being normal after I've been more than a week past seeing it.
Okay, we'll put more space in there. Yeah, Gina Gershon's role was interesting in this movie because she does die so fast, but I guess she is friends with Eli Roth, and she texted him, was like, I want to be in a movie, and he was like, okay, great, I have a role for you right now. And I was also thinking about it because she dies so early, like kind of a waste, but it is one of those things where it's like, well, you want somebody that the audience recognizes and cares about to die early, and also she is kind of like an
Another Scream
emotional
nod.
linchpin for the story as well, in a
Yeah.
way. Not really, but like for the characters, it's serving a purpose to have her be an actress that the audience already has some connection to, so that they can care about her.
Yeah. I also had a hard time watching this movie today only because Bobby, the guy who plays Bobby, Jalen Thomas Brooks, gives what's his fucking name from Twisters vibes.
Yes.
Oh,
From Hamilton too.
From Hamilton. We just watched
Anthony Ramos.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, he does.
Chelsea and I just watched Twisters in 40X last night. So I watched this first thing this morning and I was like, oh my God, I can't.
Talk
my
about a
body's-
movie that opens with a disaster.
Oh my God. I'm shook to my core,
The
literally, physically.
seats were crazy, girl.
It was crazy. There's a point where I was like, am I gonna be okay? Like, am I gonna be able to survive this? Anyway, they're reissuing it right now, so go get out there, get to your nearest.
Well, it's probably gone by the time
It's probably gone,
this
but
episode
look,
comes out.
just double check, because I wouldn't
If
want to
you
take this
simply
experience away
travel
from
back
anyone.
in time and start checking your local 40X listings year round every week just to see if it pops up again.
It might.
Because it was a surprise to see it. It was a surprise to see it
total
this
surprise,
November.
and it was great. But I think that made it harder for me to like Bobby, because he looked like Anthony Ramos, and Anthony Ramos's character is a dick-ish kind of person in Twisters, and also there's dickish allegations about him out in the world. So I was like, okay, I can't get on the Bobby train. And also, I know that you're going through a hard time, but you ghosted her for a year. Okay.
Right?
You guys don't get it because you haven't seen Hitman yet, or not Hitman, The Fall Guy. But when you can pull off that move if you're as charming as Ryan Gosling, but it's very hard to pull off if you're not Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Even
totally.
so, you really have to be willing to do a good job of making it up. But
something that I thought was super interesting about this movie, though, and I only found this out with the trivia after the fact, but there's one point where you see John Carver, the killer, like standing, and it's in relationship to Kathleen standing, which we'll get into Kathleen in a second. And he looked short, and I was like, I forgot the twist. Okay, I forgot the twist. So I'll tell you that right now. So I was like, is it Bobby? And apparently, though, they had whoever played John Carver, they switched it up. So it was like different heights of people throughout, so you wouldn't be able to fucking figure it out. Because I was like, Bobby is so short. He's not so short. He is a king. He's a wonderful man. I'm sorry. He is so much shorter than Milo Manheim, though. You know, and I was like, am I gonna
Milo
be able to
Manheim shorter than his girlfriend? Yeah, the girl who plays Jessica, forget her name, but I looked it up.
No,
yeah, no, I knew there was a V in there. She's like 5'11" and 3/4 per her IMDb, so she's also almost 6 feet tall.
How tall is he? Is this the exact?
He's probably like 5'10", I would guess.
I think that this is exactly the height difference of me and Adam, so that's what Adam and I look like going down the street. So he's not short. He's an average sized man. He's just an average sized man.
He's slightly taller
with
than
a tall
average,
queen.
The average height. The average height is my height, 5'9".
Oh, IMDb does say he's 5'9".
See, there we go.
Yeah, no. Adam told me that he's 5'10", and I'm like, you're not.
It's okay, babe. It's okay that you're not 5'10", but we have to stop saying it.
Wear heels all the time. No, he said it like, I'm 5'10".
Do you believe me? Yeah.
He knows.
I'm 5'10".
Oh my God. Yeah. I love the kills in this though. I think that's what the strong part is. The story's whatever. It's silly. It's fine. But I loved the gore in this.
Yeah, they had fun with it. It was clear that that was like the driving force of the movie for sure. I did feel maybe I'm just like such a good guesser and like based on all of our horror movie experience at this point, I'm like recognizing the formula, but I did pick up really early on who was the killer and who they wanted me to suspect was the killer. And then
Yeah.
there was only one moment where I got confused, and it was when the killer was like at the Thanksgiving was somewhere with Jessica and was like showing her the FaceTime of Gabby and Evan, and it seemed like the camera on the other side was moving, and so I went, are there two of them, and is he working with a partner? And then no, I guess, but could be a twist in the sequel, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
totally.
that gave me two killers vibes. And then the movie went, no, there's one killer. And I went, I don't believe you. You lied to me before. So
You could lie to me again.
Absolutely, it was gonna give like a Scream 4 and give us two killers.
They've done it
or
before.
Scream 1 and give us two killers.
Two killers.
I know, but we always bring up Scream 1.
Or
And I wanted to
Scream-
give some shine
Scream
to Scream
2
4.
and give us two killers.
I wanted to give some shine to Scream 4, especially with you two.
Or
I forgot
Scream
who-
5 and give us two killers.
Let her live
Scream
her
4.
life. Do you want to talk about
Scream 4 especially though. Scream 4 especially though.
Listen,
Let
I
her-
always feel like I need to put some shine on Scream 4.
And
Hey,
you're
underrated
the
baddie.
lead one on this podcast
We
who
already-
will, so
I do you not remember that episode? I came around 100%. I fucking love Scream 4 now. I just hated it the
But
first
I don't
time.
think you're like a proponent of Scream 4 in the same way that Sydney is.
I am just an agent of chaos living here among
You're so unpredictable.
I'm so
Oh my
unpredictable. No
God.
one will know. I don't
You're so
know.
spontaneous.
I'm just like really like so spontaneous and
I've
so
always said that
interesting.
about
and I've
you.
always said that about myself as well. Yeah. Things are going well, I think, on this episode. Okay. Murder, death, murder. I liked when the guts came out of the trash can. I liked that. And I liked the way the half body pants looked on top of the sign. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. And I wanted to ask you this, Sydney, because social media is like such a huge part of this. And I thought it was fun how they did it, but I was wondering if it icked your irks about that type of thing.
Here's the thing. The way that they did this was kind of fun. But I'm sorry. There's no way that a boomer is getting this creative doing social media. I'm just,
He's been stewing for years. He's not a boomer. He's Gen X.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Dempsey looks like he could be 50. I don't know how old he is, but that's how old Gen X is.
True, but still,
He's 58.
yeah. So he's Gen X.
Patrick
My
Dempsey, Gen X.
bad. Question.
I think.
mark?
Well, I don't know when the cutoff is, but people who were like young in the 80s are Gen
Even-
X.
I'm
most of the time.
getting yes from my Google search.
Even then, I feel like they're not creative enough to do this.
I don't know. I disagree. I think a man scorned who's got no one to fuck anymore for a whole year.
Here's
He's
the
going to
thing.
get creative. He's going to get into social media, deep into the meta platform, into the
I-
metaverse, as they say.
I don't. I think he actually, even though it was not revealed in the movie, had some help.
You think that's his younger partner?
He's got a hot
Yes!
Gen Z
I think
intern.
it's his, yes, I think he has
Okay,
a younger hot
actually-
partner.
Let's do spoilers because it is revealed at the end of the movie that the killer's motivation. Will I say the killer? We'll see. Maybe that's a spoiler I'll withhold. But part of the killer's
Just say
motivation,
it.
just say it. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. The killer,
their
Patrick
34 minutes
Dempsey's
in.
motivation was that he and Gina Gershon were having an affair in the beginning, and she was having his baby, and then she got killed. Even though she was with Mitch, she was cheating. She was gonna leave Mitch. But right before he revealed that, when it was like he lost somebody that day too, I was like, oh my God, was he secretly fucking Doug the security guard who got smushed? And I think if that is also going on aside from the Gina Gershon stuff, Milo Manheim does have a relationship with Doug the security. He said, I was just getting Adderall. Were you, Queen? Or were you guys in a polyamorous throuple? The three of you were all together, and that was his younger.
Doug stuff.
Here's the
Where
thing.
is this Doug stuff coming from?
He was like, I lost somebody that day too. I was like, who else died? Doug.
Well,
And they
I
both
thought here's
were
some hot tea from me. I thought
police and
that
security.
was his sister the entire time I watched this movie this time. So when it got to the end, I was like, oh, so I read that wrong.
Oh.
They look
Here's the
kind
thing.
of like
They're not
Milo's
giving
name
romance
in
vibes
this
in the
movie is
beginning.
named Brian. Therefore,
That's
bad guy.
an alarm sign.
bad guy. There's only
Red
one
flag.
good Ryan. There's only
Yeah.
one good Ryan.
There's
We all
only
know
one
that.
good Ryan.
It's
And he knows
Ryan,
who he is.
the designer of our art.
Exactly. And so
And
as
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We assume, but he's on probation because we haven't met him personally.
Exactly.
I saw him at
But
Little
if he
Dom's
wants to
and I
meet us
got good
personally,
vibes.
we'll make a ruling.
Yeah.
I've
If
seen him in
Ryan
person
Gosling,
twice
if you
and I
feel
had
like
really
being
good
judged,
He'll
energy.
come hang out.
we will
I
sentence.
think he lives in the greater area near my home. So I'll just start walking the streets and I'll ask him.
Hey, Ryan. Woo. And then you can have a little hanky that you do that. Woo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Classic style.
Also, okay, just one more thing to say that maybe they want us to believe, definitely they want us to believe that both Patrick Dempsey and Gina Gershon are different ages than they actually are. Gina is 62 years old. So
she's having that
supposed
baby
to be
girl.
with child. So they're
Right?
like, she's 42
She's having that baby
actually.
girl.
She's 42 and Patrick Dempsey is 38. Yeah, no, I feel like there could be some sort of fun reveal like that later on, that there is a second killer, because there are just a lot of shady bros in this movie. I mean, I really couldn't stand Addison Rae's, Gabby's boyfriend Evan
Fletcher.
Yeah.
That fucking video that he released of all the people literally dying.
Dying.
But his editing skills were
really
so
funny.
good.
It was hilarious, but I was like, oh my God, you would be crucified for this. Holy
And
shit.
he was. Didn't you get that it had been a major source of tension between him and Addison Rae?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I really felt that.
She's like, I keep getting tagged in this. And he's like, well, I didn't post it again. I thought we were over this. And it's like, guess what, girl? We may be over it, but it is re-arising as an issue anew. So
yeah, it's only been 1 year.
just because
Shit's
we
gonna
worked
get
through it
crazy.
one time doesn't mean it's never going to come up again.
Yeah. I
Take
love
responsibility for your actions forever, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, seriously. You gotta do a lot more atonement for posting.
That's how
the,
it
like,
works, girl.
"Get
You did
fucked"
it. And it,
to
you'll
the
always
guy
have
who
done
bled
it.
out. Like, come on. I will say though, I thought it was funny that there's so many subplots in this, and like nothing is like, oh, it's written poorly. It's written fine. It's just not about
They're
anything
just like
being fleshed
distractions,
out.
or it's just like
Yeah.
set decoration and
But we love a badass final girl with a dead mom using the
yeah.
power of her dead mom grief to win. I was like, yeah,
I
girl.
loved
I
when
too
she
use my
opened
trauma
her
as a
mom
weapon.
locket. And just in case you didn't know it was her mom, from when they just said, oh, your mom, your mom, your mom. If you open it and you went, who's that woman holding a baby? On the other side, don't worry, it says mom.
Mom.
So
Yeah.
there's no confusion. There's really no room for confusion.
What if you
there.
get a little, what if you forget?
What
She'll
if
never
you
forget.
have amnesia?
What if she forgot? She can't forget, and she won't.
She can't forget.
because
It says
she-
mom right there.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect.
And it saved her life, but almost killed her.
You know what? I think that they don't even let me watch the second half of this trailer on the internet, by the way. Why is it
Oh, I
split
found
into
it on
two? Is
YouTube.
it because of the vagina part? Because that's what I wanted to talk about next. In the trailer, they also have a little horny part, like in the movie, where douche guy number one who
From
gets into the
Hanover.
fight from Hanover,
Fucking Hanover. That's
fucking
our rival.
goddamn Hanover. Why did my IMDb page disappear from me? We found it. Lonnie. That's
Oh,
his
yeah.
name. Who could have
What
known?
an
Lonnie.
evil bitch
Could have
name.
known.
Lonnie and Lizzie. That's who started the crowd crush riots.
Oh, yeah. Lizzie, the
Mhm.
John Carver descendant, of course.
Yeah. But that was probably one of the more fucked up parts. I mean, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Chelsea, because I'm not going to be watching the trailer now because I can't multitask. I tried, but we're not doing it. But I feel like the big three things that happen in the original Grindhouse trailer are decapitated turkey man
Turkey mascot.
walking down the street parade. Here's some
Mhm.
words. I'm just using buzzwords. That's how I'm going to communicate for the rest of the show. Then the turkey. Is it a turkey question mark?
Human
Maybe it's a
turkey.
human turkey. Okay. And then the sexy cheerleader jumping on the trampoline, right?
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
three.
Those are the
Okay,
big
so
ones.
But they
So
also
they-
take a nice little inspo from House of Wax with the updated trampoline scene.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, ugh. I thought when you said House of Wax, I thought you were talking about Lizzie's death. Because, sorry, real quick, rewind. When he fucking gets her face fucking wet in the
Yeah.
water and then puts it on
And
the
it-
cold door. Nightmare. That was horrific.
Yeah.
They
I was
just-
like, that is a slay, though. The dunk and freeze.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like honestly, great idea. But imagine you have to like choose to rip your face off or die. Those are your two options. Poor
Oh,
Lizzie
horrifying.
pouring out.
It I mean, yes, Lizzie was at the front of the crush, but Lizzie was also one of the main people being smushed against the glass doors. And I don't, maybe she was a little vicious once she got inside the store, and I'm like not recalling. But it was interesting to
She
see.
killed Gina Gershon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's one of the shopping
With that
cart.
other
I think that
lady.
other shopping cart person got away scot-free, maybe. But I guess it was not her cart.
She
who
wasn't on
ripped
the video.
scalp off.
She
That's
wasn't
true.
being
He didn't
antagonistic
know.
in the video.
He couldn't have done it without Jessica pointing out the people that she knew in video. So you know.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's what he meant.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Don't you
and
love it
also
when
she
you
was part of the
accidentally aid
parade
and
track.
abet a killer? Don't you love when you accidentally
She was
tell
like,
the
how do we
killer?
set up a trap for the killer? And he was like, oh, I can help you do that. That's such a good idea, girl. You're so smart, queen. And she was like, really? Do you think I'll save my friends and family? And he was like,
She
yeah,
had-
for sure.
She had no chance because a man with authority was telling her she was doing everything right. But that's why you don't listen to authority. ACAB.
Wow.
Powerful
I
stuff.
did think it was a funny, just on the ACAB train, I thought it was a funny interaction when it was like, oh, some big guy in a fuck off truck drives in and cuts somebody off. Of course it's a cop. And then later it's like, and the person he cut off, also a cop. So that was just a little interesting
Yeah.
moment.
I
what do you want
wish
after?
though sorry.
No, you go.
I'm changing the subject completely.
That's fine
so
with
if you
me.
had
That's
something
fine
else.
with me.
Okay. Back to the cheerleader sexy time
Yeah.
trampoline. That is such a fucking horrifying part of the original trailer because she literally does the splits in the air and
Yeah,
lands her
it's almost
coochie
less horrifying
on
in
the
movie.
knife. It's
The
100% less
splits
horrifying.
onto it.
No, it's 100% less horrifying, and that was a point of contention where I was mad. I didn't want that to happen to anyone, but I was also
Sure.
like, if you're gonna go full pussy out in a full blown movie,
Yeah.
you're not even gonna go full pussy literally out onto a blade. This is the Terrifier of
Yeah,
my life.
Maybe they saw Terrifier and they were like, that's enough pussy torture for the rest of our lives, actually.
Yeah,
we
I
could never
know,
need
which
to do
is
anything like that again.
Totally fair, but it just felt underwhelming because that part is
Yeah.
so horrific. But I
Yeah.
think I didn't realize at first, because we don't get like that long of a look at Amy, which is that character's name, the cheerleader's name. She is like she's the one who's still alive in the refrigerator later, because I just couldn't tell. She looked different in the bag than she looked outside of the bag. So
you
I
could
was
like sort of see her cheer vest, which is how I identified her. Because I was
but
like,
maybe
wait, who's that?
Her to be extra dead. I don't know, but they got her pretty good anyway. Oh my god! And also,
Corkscrewed her blood right out of her neck for drinkies.
I loved that part. I did love that. I loved that. I didn't like the foot torture thing. I really hate little cuts. I hate the little cut stuff. That fucks me up so bad.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
It would be a bad way to go.
There's a lot of foot stuff in this movie.
There was so much foot stuff in this. I was like, did Quentin
Eli Roth
fucking? Well, okay, maybe that's why Eli and
they're friends.
They're friends. Maybe they share a love for feet.
And I was like, I think Quentin is the foot guy and Eli Roth is the leg guy. Because, like, yes, we got her feet, but we also got her whole leg getting painted and her leg getting sliced for meat. And in Cabin Fever, that chick's leg sloughs off when she's shaving.
I love Cabin Fever.
So I was like, I think he's a leg guy.
Yeah, okay.
But I've only seen this in Cabin Fever. I haven't seen Hostel or any of the Hostels.
Don't watch Hostel for like 4 years, I would say.
You think I'll be ready in 4 years?
I think exactly 4 years and 3 months. Then maybe you can watch it. But until then, I wouldn't recommend it. Hopefully.
And we'll see.
And we'll fucking see. But it's just I don't feel that it will be the right climate. I can't in good conscience recommend that movie to any woman at this time. But yeah, I loved Lonnie's neck turning all the way around too. It reminded me of like a Tim Burton movie or something. It reminded me the way that it looked of Beetlejuice, exactly, of one of the already dead people from Beetlejuice, which I thought was fun.
Was he supposed to be a coach or a student? Oh, they were saying like he was held back 2 years and he's dating a cheerleader, so I guess a student but old.
Yeah. Maybe like the captain of whatever sports related thing was happening.
Yeah, because he kind of seemed like he was in charge of that practice before he stepped away.
Yeah. What was the other part that I really, really liked? Oh, let's talk about Manny's death really quickly, just because I want to talk about the cat.
I loved this part.
Yeah.
The fucking scaredy cat, haha. Get it? Security guard who ran away and didn't help try to stop everyone from dying the year prior was once again trying to run away to the Dominican Republic. Honestly, good plan, though.
Yeah.
Good plan. Too bad he was a little too slow. And I just was so glad that they utilized the carving knife.
Yeah.
You gotta hit the big things. Carving knife is one of the big Thanksgiving
things. You can do a Thanksgiving slasher without electric carving knife. It would just be a huge missed opportunity.
Honestly, big mistake. Huge. But that cat is the cat from fucking Pet Sematary, the remake from 2019.
So once again, another horror homage.
Yeah. And like
in the trivia,
in the trivia, Eli was like, that cat was incredible. That cat was such an incredible actor. And that cat was literally a star of the whole movie. I mean, if the new Pet Sematary is anything like the old Pet Sematary or the book, the cat's a big fucking part of it. So I'm so glad to know that role is in the hands of a very talented cat actor. That makes me feel really good and really safe with it. But I just love Eli Roth's like cute little brain. Sometimes he's disgusting fuck, of course. I mean that as a compliment. But he was like inspired by the concept of like what happens to the pet when their owner is murdered in a horror movie? What happens? And he was like, in my horror movie, the killer loves cats and feeds it kibble.
Make sure the cat's got a little treat.
I thought that was so. He like pets it like as the cat's
Yeah.
eating, and then he like looks at the cat was like, meow. He's like, well, I gotta do this.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much. And I love the decapitation. I just love
Yeah.
a
That
little
was one of my other potential references to the trailer because I watched the trailer and what I wrote down was Pilgrim cuts off head of turkey at parade. Although obviously in the movie itself they said we can't do that exactly the same. You're looking for a pilgrim. We've got to mix it up. It's going to be a scary clown instead because that will fit right in
He
at
was throwing him
Thanksgiving
off.
parade.
I thought
He was
it was
throwing them
honestly, I thought
off.
that was clever. I thought it was funny. Just because
It was
I saw the
funny.
clown and I was like, "What's going on with the clown?"
What's
And then
that
I was
bitch
like,
doing?
"Oh,
Yeah.
Right?
he's killing people." That was
And
actually a
he
reference
looks
to the
like
Joker, or sorry, to Dark Knight.
Ah.
actually, or you're just saying?
I'm just saying shit.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say it looked to me like one of the clowns, minus the colorful outfit, but the head up looked like one of the clowns from Killer from Outer Space. Killer
Space.
Clowns from Outer Space.
Sort of similar, yeah. But I just mean like,
I guess
doesn't
clown
the
in general.
Joker like do something crazy during a parade during Dark Knight? He does. I can't tell you what it is,
think
but
there's
he
could
does
maybe
do
one of the
something.
other ones, but there's that bank robbery where they're all wearing clown masks for sure.
He's not wearing a clown mask. The Joker just kind of looks like a clown all the time.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
all
where
the
I'm getting that from.
henchmen.
Yeah, no,
I
I know
think
what
they're
you're
wearing.
talking about. I'm
Okay.
talking about a different part of the
Okay.
movie, though. He shoots somebody or something. I don't know. It's been a few
That feels
years.
right. That feels
It
so
happens.
right.
I know that it happens. This isn't the pencil thing like before, which was also from The Dark Knight. Everything, actually, every like reference that I have in my brain that I don't know what it is,
Secretly from
it's
the Dark
actually
Knight.
from The Dark Knight, which is
Yeah.
so film bro coded of me, and I hate that about
Oh my
myself. That really
God.
sunk into my psyche, and I guess
That's how we
I'm
know
better
you're a
than no man.
serious film critic.
Yeah, actually, I always refer back to The Dark Knight, the be all end all film. No, that's not how I feel. Love you, film bros. Don't come for me.
Yeah, but the trailer comparisons I wrote, the moment when the pilgrim cuts the head off the turkey at the parade we see in this film, cheerleader on the trampoline who bounces onto the knife while her boyfriend who's watching gets got.
Mhm.
I wrote head cut off, which is for the coward security guard in this movie, but in the trailer is like the boyfriend in the car. And that whole boyfriend in the car motif doesn't really exist in this movie at all meaningfully. However, his name is Bobby. So, boyfriend named Bobby was a parallel or through line. Human turkey, obviously. And then I also put, just as a side note to human turkey, someone puking while tied up at the dinner table. Because Rick Hoffman voms around his gag. And they're not gagged in the trailer, but someone voms in that scene too.
That I was
Yeah.
gagged. I love that's like the best part. That's like the takeaway part from the original trailer. And I do
Yeah.
think that they fucking slayed it
Yeah.
in the movie. Like the basting, like fucking buttering up Kathleen part, that actually is really horrifying. It's silly that he put parsley in between her toes.
In
And I
between her
laughed.
toes.
Between her toes. I laughed.
I wrote
But it's
that's
also
foul.
deeply, deeply, deeply disgusting. And I hope that he washed her again before he put her in the oven because she got really dirty when she tried to escape and her nail came off. Another little fucking thing like that. The nails coming off always makes me want to die. It just, ooh, so horrible.
The bloody footprints when she was escaping also felt very I see you, Eli Roth, and I know what you're doing.
Yeah. She was smart though. She saw that
Yeah.
and she hid them and hid behind the wall. And it's so terrifying. I didn't know, I've never used one of those little temperature gauge things for
Wait,
baking a turkey, but oh my God, what a tongue in cheek fun fucking kill. That was disgusting. That was so disgusting. And her eyes, the way her eyes looked, very disgusting. I don't blame the husband for vomiting through his gag.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I kind of wish that this scene was longer. Like, I feel like it should have been like the climax of
This could have
the
been like the
movie.
big chase.
Yeah.
right? Or like this is where he is uncovered, or know what I mean? Like it felt like it needed to be more prominent a little bit.
Yeah,
I
I think the problem is that like then you want to use it for your main character. Um, but then like what's the resolution? Like then you have to resolve everything right there. You know what I mean? So
I think that it's fair for it to be Kathleen because I think that she kind of is not the biggest
the
villain, but
inciting
one of
incident in a way.
she's
She
a big
sucks
part of it.
also.
She
Nobody likes the
sucks
stepmom.
she sucks so bad, and she also is just like she like kind of like influences the dad so much to make a lot of these changes that
It was
maybe
her
he
decision
wouldn't
to
have
keep it
done.
open on Thanksgiving
Yeah,
and to open
yeah.
the store.
She's looking out for money and he's looking out to appease her because of broken heart, sad boy, whatever. Not a good excuse, but there's
Yeah.
some understanding behind that. And then
But that
also
was
the fact that she
the
goes and deletes all the footage, that's like
yeah.
extra fucking sinister. So it makes sense that it was her. At first I was like, why Kathleen? And I was like, no, Kathleen.
Yeah. And but like that was the moment where Patrick Dempsey 100% gave himself away to me. Was like the second that they were about to film their commercial in John Carver's cabin and he was like oh, I'm sure you'll make an excellent dinner, Kathleen. I was like someone's going to get shoved in an oven. I feel like I remember that from the trailer, and if they do then Patrick Dempsey is for sure the killer. And
I
the
was
only
blinded by his
moment
handsomeness, so I didn't no red flags went off for me. I was like, "Oh,
I
that's
was
so
just like,
nice of
anything
you,
for Patrick
Patrick.
Dempsey.
the
Thank
only
you."
moment where I was like questioning that at all was when he throws the pitchfork to get Kathleen. And I was like, okay, that makes me think it could be Golden Arm Bobby after all. But I do feel like they're misdirecting me on purpose again.
That scene, I feel like 100% was trying to make you think it was Bobby because of the height difference
Yeah.
thing I was saying earlier. Plus that right immediately after, that's literally the second before he throws the what is that called? Rake?
Pitchfork?
Yeah.
Pitchfork. Thank you so much. I knew it had to have a sexier name than Rake.
Right?
um, but yeah, no, I mean they try to do a good job of misdirection, but um and I think that's another reason why you're like, oh, I didn't feel any like love vibration vibes from them at the beginning. I feel like if you had, then he would have been like also number one. I feel like that would have been
Yeah.
very confusing at the beginning, so they had to make that like totally something you couldn't have guessed.
And maybe
Um,
if I had watched this movie once already and saw that scene and was like looking for any vibes, I would have been able to be like, oh, when he says XYZ before they walk into the group or whatever. Like, I don't know, maybe there was something in there, but since you're the only one who's seen it and you thought that they were siblings at first when you were watching,
I only
we
half
simply
watched it the first time, so
yeah,
this was
none
like
of us
brand new
watched
eyes.
that scene with that in mind. So who knows if there was something in there or not. Not
Yeah.
enough to tip anybody off, at least.
I definitely forgot that they smashed Evan's head on the table, though. That I definitely forgot about. And I thought that that was fair. Sorry,
Yeah,
Addison Rae.
he for sure is also a big part of the inciting incident because it's like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, Jessica let her friends into the store early, so I guess I can see why she is a target. Because they wouldn't have been able to get in there without her, but it felt very unfair when she was just trying to be low key and Evan was really the one being like, look at me, bitch. I'm in the store and I've got my new iPhone early. Like, blah, blah.
yeah,
Like, he's the one haunting them, which gets them all riled up, which gets them. I mean, they were
yeah.
already riled up. They were already riled up,
They
but
were
Yeah.
already riled up,
Which
but
they had
he was
personal beef, and then he was taunting, and then Lonnie outside had a bullhorn, and
never give a man
there's
a
a natural
bullhorn.
chain of events. Yeah, exactly. When you give a man a bullhorn, so
Here's someone I think was overkilled if we're doing this based on like how bad your
Deserving.
crimes against John Carver were. I kind of did a Massachusetts accent there.
John Carver.
John Carver. Anyway, sorry to any Bostonians or Massachusetts.
No, they like it when people try to do their accent, I think.
It was an accident when
They
the accent
famously
came out,
like
but
it.
then I did it on purpose after that.
You're
so
just
anyway.
like Patrick Dempsey in this movie.
I am. Yeah, that's why I couldn't believe it. It was him because we have so much in common, and I'm not a killer. But anyway, what was I trying to say before that? Oh, Yulia.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did Yulia do?
Poor
What? And
Yulia.
her death was so bad. Her death was
Yeah.
so bad. Also, I fucking was so obsessed. What a hilarious B plot that her dad is like this like buff
Scary
Russian
Russian
guy.
guy.
And just like shows up and he's like, we're gonna fucking go right fucking now.
We're fucking going. And they're like,
why
what's his
didn't they
deal?
just
And everybody else is
go?
like, I don't know.
Girl, don't go back to your house. If you're gonna do that, that was such a smart idea. The dad was super smart, but then they went home.
Yeah.
Just go
And
straight
then
to
the
Florida.
police was
You're rich.
like-
You can buy shit when you get to Florida.
How long has this
Also-
house been under construction? Forever. What?
The
What's going
scariest
on?
part of this entire movie for me was having to watch her put in her contacts.
Oh my
She
god.
was holding it like this, wandering around for so long.
Like,
They did
I
it on purpose.
can't, like, I can't see, like, I get, like, I will start dry heaving if people put their contacts in front of me. I'm just like, it is, I'm like,
Sydney,
what?
fun fact.
I
Like,
thought
I just,
that
I cannot do it.
I get that because it's so weird that you literally just have to touch your eyeball, which I just did right now. So sorry.
I'm okay with touching your eyeball, but like putting a up, like, no, thank you.
Well,
You're
you
like
would
one
have
of those
hated
people who
watching
goes on
me.
Maury who's scared of pickles.
I would never be scared of a pickle, but
I honestly
it all
think
stems
that a
from my-
fear of pickles is unfounded. Fear of someone putting something in their eye, not unfounded. I think that's
Well,
fair, Sydney.
it also comes from, like, I remember being like 10 and my mom walked up to me one time and she goes, I've lost my contact in my eye. Can you see it? And it has ruined me forever.
The idea that that can happen is something I would
It's terrifying.
never like to confront.
Look, sometimes that's the life that you're given, okay?
Not me. I have perfect eyesight. So it
Well,
makes
not me, I
even-
don't.
But not
so-
forever.
It makes
So-
yeah, but then I'll just wear glasses.
Still wear bifocals.
Yeah, my
Chelsea,
eyesight
when
won't
we
be
were-
that bad.
When we were at that Amber Benson event, did I not ask you, like, is my contact still on? I feel like I did. One of the times I wore contacts recently, it moved, and I was
because
like,
you were wearing the
did
snake
it-
contacts.
I thought
think they
maybe
were,
it like went. I thought maybe it like went back to the side because I could see better, and I was like, "Oh my god, did my eye eat it?" Because I've heard horror stories about that exact same thing. So I feel you. But back to the movie, I think that they did a really good job of making you want to fucking die. That whole scene leading up, because you know that he's in the house. He's already fucking trank gunned. Was that
Yeah.
a poison dart? Did those people die? Are they alive? No
well,
one
he
knows.
tranks them later, some of the people later, like Evan and Gabby and Jessica and Scuba, because he's bringing them to the table. So we know that
I guess they
when
don't
you
die.
get trank gunned, you're okay, which kind of feeds into his, I don't kill anybody who doesn't deserve it, except for the fact that he was kind of killing a little indiscriminately at the parade, but...
Yeah, like, what did the
Yeah.
guy in the turkey suit do to him?
Who was the guy who?
Yeah, who
oh,
was
it
the
was
guy?
it was the coward guy whose head got fully popped off by the cord,
Yeah, no, he deserves
which I
it.
was like a little unbelievable. But you can have this one, Eli Roth. I'll give it to
He
you.
could do whatever he wants. Like, Patrick Dempsey is very strong, so
He's
Uh,
so strong.
so strong. But anyway, Yulia, I just thought that they did a really good job of making you so uncomfortable you wanted to get out of your chair. Just with all the eye things, and she was doing something else after she was putting the contacts in. That was also, she was cleaning her ear with the
Yeah.
fucking Q-tip.
And
That
they
was
really
also
got
so
you
scary.
on a close up there so that you would know that something horrible was about to happen to her ears. And they
Well,
said
you
the
never-
contact
While
was
she's
also
on
But then you're like,
misdirection.
I know. They're like, is it gonna actually happen? Because the contact didn't happen. But yeah, that was brilliant, putting the little corn
Corn
cob
on the
holders
cob
in her
holders.
ear.
I love a good little corn on the cob holder.
I've never used those before, and I really would like to, but now actually maybe no, I don't, and never mind.
They have little
Because
faces
I will
on
think about this.
them.
That was so funny. It's so cutesy. But like already he's made her deaf. That's terrible. And then Scuba is there. Scuba
Yeah.
showed up so fast. He's such a good boyfriend. Jess is also there, whatever.
Whatever.
But did we really need to saw her tummy open in the oh my god.
Yeah, we
And
did.
he's
Yeah.
like, what
She
do I
didn't
do,
deserve,
Jess?
but
What
it
do
was a
I
great
do?
kill.
It was such a good kill. Yeah, giving Bread Slicer Fear Street.
Mm.
A little bit of that energy. They really were doing a lot of stuff with innards.
Yeah.
They were like, let's see some guts, man. And I guess
Let's
it's
get
a
the guts
holiday
out.
about eating a bunch of stuff. So they're trying to
So
make you think about
makes sense. There's a
intestines
connection.
and the like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I just love the main setup for this whole kill pattern from Mr. Patrick Dempsey. I love the table being set. I love the name cards. I love the table being set beautifully for Thanksgiving dinner because like I've hosted Thanksgiving before and you put a lot of thought into that and so did John Carver. I thought it was
That's
beautiful.
part of what makes me feel like Milo Manheim's character is his little teammate because him with his fancy little outfits and his business bitch entrepreneurial
And his Addie.
way of
Why?
thinking, I feel like he would be the kind of guy who's like, it's proper etiquette to set your Thanksgiving table like XYZ. This is the way of hosting. This is how it's done.
Okay. Here's the thing. Earlier on, you were arguing that Milo Manheim's character was the secondary killer because he was having a relationship with Doug. That's what you were
No,
saying.
the three of them.
What is the Patrick Dempsey connection to Doug? You just made that up. There's nothing there.
Well, before he revealed who he loved and lost at Rightmar, I was thinking who died at Rightmar, and I was like, Doug? Because we don't know many of those characters who die. Most of them are just extras. But I was like, we meet
Well,
Doug.
it's clear he was already really good friends with Gina Gershon, even if they weren't fucking, because they were doing
Yeah,
Thanksgiving together.
That's true, but
I'll allow you to make it gay. That's our whole job, but
I'm
just
just
a little bit of a stretch.
saying, for 1 second, I got excited about the prospect because Doug felt like a dropped thread.
Here's the thing. I just think he was
Dapped
doing
up
it for the
Milo
love of
Manheim.
the game. And
That's true,
also,
No,
he
I
clearly
think
loves
they'd
the
be
game,
boring.
Monica.
but he clearly loves the game. But also, I think he might be the other killer that we'll get in the second sequel, the second movie. Bobby's back, and so now I think he was like,
Now he's got competition again.
Now he's got competition again. I think he was doing it out of like revenge because remember throughout this whole thing they're saying like you have to be nice to Ryan, like your friends aren't really nice to me, you know what I mean, like, and so he's kind of like fuck my girl's friends, and now he's like, well, fucking Bobby's back, now he's mad.
They definitely wanted you to think that I think if I'm being realistic and this movie only has one killer as presented within the movie, they just wanted you to think that Milo Manheim's character might be the killer because he's jealous of the boyfriend and he's kind of doing his own aesthetic choices and is a college kid. I don't fucking know what his deal is. He is the only one who has a roommate, Scott.
Yeah.
Who they don't really get into that, but they're like just a little sprinkle for you. But I if I'm bringing my own experience to this film, like Sydney, I agree. There was something there. There's something shady. There's something a little gay about it all.
His name's Ryan.
His name is Ryan, which is never a good sign.
The signs are there.
Also, he was wearing that like chain necklace, and I think Milo's so hot, but I was like, ick. I don't know.
He has that like moment where he's being snobby, where he's like,
he's so elitist. I forgot to cover up my clothes pile.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I know I gotta
Gavin
hide the
Newsom.
clothes pile.
Isaac, he's giving Republican. I mean, he could be just like a regular
It's
rich
giving
spoiled kid
Republican.
vibes, but it was giving Republican a little bit.
It was giving Republican, yeah.
Which
no, it
means
really was.
villain.
No, yeah.
Within the context
Okay, you're
of this
convincing me.
film.
All this stuff that you're saying really leads me to believe that Milo's character is a bisexual king who is in love with Doug.
They had something going
sure.
on.
They had something going on. He had something going on.
Oh yeah, because he was like, Adderall is what smart kids do to get into Ivy Leagues, unlike whatever he said to whatever. Scuba? Was he talking to Scuba? Scuba diving?
No, he was talking to Fletcher.
Who's Fletcher?
Evan Fletcher. Fletcher's his last name.
Oh.
Fletcher. That's a cool nickname. Okay.
Who wants to play football alone? Just watch him.
I feel like the end of this movie was like a letdown after a little bit. After how cool the setup was for the dinner party scene, and then it was just over so quickly.
I think when I was talking about a movie, like a scene lasting longer, the dinner party was the one that I was like talking about. Like that's where it should have.
There's so much good stuff set up,
but like,
and then there wasn't that long of it.
You know what I mean?
Because McCarty, who is here solely just to dole out weapons, is like, oh, take this ring from my father in Vietnam. Don't ask any other questions. You will discover later it has a knife in it. And then don't worry, you can saw through your ropes, and then Scuba can saw through his ropes, and then you guys have an out.
McCarty is the hero of the movie. I love McCarty.
Yeah. McCarty is out here advocating for short kings, like his friend Kyle and Ryan's friend Scott and Black Sabbath secondary frontman Ronnie James Dio, who I did not know was short, but good to know.
Right. And then he can fucking shred on that shit. He can fucking shred a guitar.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business. His outfit is slay. I thought what was really fucking funny is how they like postured. Okay, it's fucked up, but it's funny. How they like postured the McCarty party as like a fucking heroin den. He's like, we like walk through the room and he's like, oh, be careful. Those guys have been here since Tuesday. They got too strung out on white Zinfandel. I died. And also his fucking like quartermaster, that he's the quartermaster of this James Bond movie. It's so funny to me. The grimiest man. I love that he had this arsenal of guns in weird fucking places, like in the radio, in the headboard. The thing that
case
got me that we need as a podcast was the mug that said "I heart farting." That was on his
we
desk
do need that
next to the fucking, oh my god, it was like right next to the radio gun holder thing. I died. I love him. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about him. He's like, that was very much needed levity.
McCarty for the party.
He's not a great guy. He's selling alcohol to minors, but like everybody needs McCarty.
Someone has to sell alcohol to minors, Monica.
Yeah, so it might as well be Marty.
Might as well be McCarty.
McCarty party.
Marty McCarty, as his full name is.
What a great name.
He's so good. Yeah, there's like it was a little too easy, but it almost feels like on purpose. Yeah. Like I don't think that Eli Roth is dumb. I think he's like,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's not about that.
It simply doesn't matter. I just want to do explosion now. It's time for that. See, Chelsea, I really have picked up your mannerism.
It's time to do explosion.
It's time to do explosion. Literally, I caught myself doing it like 16 times today. And I was like, oh my God, when will it end? I also said, are you ready, Freddie?
So bad.
Or Freddie, are you ready? 40,000 times today. That's not a you thing. That's an old person. That's an old person thing that takes over my soul sometimes. But also, what did this cop out thing, literally cop out, the like ruse? It wasn't really a ruse, I guess. Oh, I know what it reminded me of, and I can't tell you what it is because it would spoil a movie that I really want you to see. So I can't tell you.
Okay.
Him being injured thing, where Patrick Dempsey is like down on the ground, reminds me of like the crux twist of another movie that I can't tell you what it is because I would never spoil it for literally all of our listeners. But it's a reference, and if you know, you know. And you guys don't know because you haven't seen it, so I literally can't tell you. But I thought that also was just like a callback to something, but I guess he was actually injured. Like, I guess Bobby technically maybe did actually
Hit him.
bonk Patrick Dempsey in the head with the crowbar. But also, what if we're completely wrong and it's not Milo Manheim and it is still Bobby who is the accomplice? It still could be
No,
him.
but he was trying to blame it on Bobby. I guess you can throw your partner under the bus.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
And if you're a killer, are you really above that?
Yeah, and I guess at the end, would be like, well, I'm gonna tie up all my loose ends, gonna kill my partner. I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's
His
not a
name's
trustworthy
Bobby and
man.
not Ryan, so Ryan
Got
still enemy
a
number
higher
one.
likelihood of being a good guy, but we can never be sure. We can never
Exactly.
be too sure.
Is that why
Um,
he had the sorry, actually this is not in
the blood on his head, Patrick
yeah,
Dempsey.
he had like the like black stripe and I was like, what's that from? And then I was like wondering if it was like soot from the burned mask, maybe.
It was
Like
dried
was
blood
there
on
it
his
was just
face.
dried blood? Why did it look like that?
I thought it looked like dried blood. It
Maybe
didn't ring any
it was a me
alarms for
issue.
me. I don't know. I did
It
watch it
looked
on
so
my iPad, but I
strange.
had it really close to my face.
Mm.
So I feel like I still would have noticed. But I love that they just did all this ending just because Eli Roth was like, it'd be cool if one of the things from the Thanksgiving Day parade exploded in hellfire.
Yeah.
That's what that
And
was. It was
they set it
like
up
it was
early
cool.
on, again in the John Carver's cabin scene, when she was like, my dad made me shoot a musket in one of our commercials a million years ago, and I
Mhm.
had to pack it, and I almost blew my hand off. It's like, okay, so she's gonna shoot a musket by the end of the movie.
Yeah, but she's gonna put her mommy's locket in there. So
Whoa.
love you, mom.
Mommy saves the day once
Mommy saves the
again.
day.
Mommy slay.
Dead mom trauma for the win. That might have to be the title. But yeah, that's what happens. That is what happened. And then that's when they do the fucking pull out pigeon pin. That's when they do the fucking I still know what you did last summer thing, or I know what you did last summer thing, where it's like the fake dream of her dying.
They do reveal that it's a dream, so they go
Yeah.
like that extra step. So it's
Yeah.
more like, I still know what you did. Actually, does that one, do they have the dream reveal? I forget. Or is it like
I don't
maybe just
remember.
the
And we
scary,
literally
maybe
just did
just
that.
the scary part at the end?
Oh my God. Also, just want to say, Tony Todd,
Yeah.
I know.
my
R.I.P.
guy.
Tony Todd.
Oh, R.I.P. Tony Todd. I couldn't believe that. Oh, sorry. It made me think of Final Destination. So I was thinking about our guy. What an incredible actor. And Sydney and I were in the same room as him over the summer. I really
Yeah.
wish we had gone to meet him. But wasn't in the cards, but what an incredible actor. And I'm very excited to see his not posthumous performance. Oh, whatever. His performance in Final Destination 6 when that does come out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he already he finished filming that apparently, according to our patrons. I trust him with my life. So.
I do too. Anything they
Shout out
say
to our
is true.
patrons. Love our patrons. But yeah, okay. Any more thoughts about the main movie before we move on to our
Segmentos?
Yes, I do
there
have
she's
thoughts.
back. Okay.
I thought some of the dialogue in this movie was crazy, girl.
Oh, tell me.
Like, okay, when they are pre-riot, I guess, when they're taunting Lonnie outside and they both say suck my cock in unison.
Yeah,
Loved
that was great.
Um, Reichmart, as mentioned, I liked the come to Right Mart where we slash prices without a fucking axe after John Carver's axe has been stolen. That was a fun one. But a lot of them were just like so slasher movie silly. Like his captions, like slashing everything in half at Right Mart, 50% off for like half of Lizzie's body.
That was so funny.
And he has the first guests have arrived. White meat, dark meat, all will be carved, which is also a reference to the trailer from Grindhouse, actually. That's
Yeah.
part of the voiceover, and it
Yeah.
made it into the Instagram caption. there's during the like showdown at the end is also when Patrick Dempsey's accent really starts to very meaningfully come and go. Because he says like stepmother at something or something like that. And also you see him like throw something in the trash and miss it right away. So it was like he's a litter bug. That's how you know he's the killer.
Killer. He's a bad guy.
I saw that
Yeah.
part. I was like, okay, no, you're right. I should have known right then.
But it's like he says like it's like fumbling on the 1 yard line. Like he really hits that
Yard.
yard. Yeah, he's
Have
like
it,
what?
yard.
He's like, can we change any of these lines to have some of the classic park in the car in the Harvard yard like vowel sounds in there? Can we just like
Need
sprinkle
more
them in so
ARs.
that people know I'm from Massachusetts? And they're like, okay, girls, say it's like fumbling on the 1 yard line. Yeah, it's just it's the wait, I didn't get to tell you what I was thankful for. What are you thankful for? The service in here. I've been live streaming all like that was also crazy
That
and
was
like
so fucking stupid. I loved it.
yeah, the social media of it all. Sorry, Jessica, this year there will be no leftovers. Oh, here's the line. When I told your stepmother that she would make an excellent dinner, that was not a lie. And then I was like, yeah, you really hit me over the head with that line earlier, girl.
Yeah, no,
I noticed
Chelsea
it.
had that on
But
moment one.
the no
You got me, girl.
leftovers line is
No
like from the
leftovers.
trailer, so that
Hey,
was like a fun
Sheriff,
little nod.
you were right. No leftovers.
Leftovers.
Yeah.
Slay. That was kind of cunty.
It is kind of cunty.
I loved it.
And like if you're gonna be a holiday horror movie, I think you do have like full room to go schlocky cheesy and do that kind of thing. This movie was just very funny with the way that they assembled all of these different pieces together. But
Yeah.
again, it was not about any of that. It was about doing fun, creative Thanksgiving adjacent-ish kills for 2 of them, and then the rest were just like crazy.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got
let's do
human
our
turkey,
segments and then we'll
and you
get
got
into
the electric
the-
carving knife, and then the rest were just kind
Yeah.
of like whatever.
well, let's
Could have
get
been it
into
for any holiday.
let's get into how could this movie be gayer. I think that I'm coming around on the Doug Milo Mannheim love affair.
I think
Now,
it's really
that was
obvious
such a
in the text.
passionate bro hug. I've never
It's, like,
seen two
right
bros dap it
there.
up like that before. There was some
Well,
sexual tension.
I think they were playing it low key because they were in public and they haven't gone public with their tryst at that time.
Of course, no, makes sense.
And I don't think they were necessarily like, you know, committed and exclusive because Ryan was also trying to get with Jessica. But I think that's the reason why he didn't tell Jessica about knowing Doug was because he didn't want their connection to be under a magnifying glass.
So true. That's really wow.
I think that Ryan and Bobby secretly want each other, but they don't understand that they're
where
not.
That animosity is coming from.
Yeah, and so they're taking it as like, oh, we both must just want Jessica.
I must be jealous because of Jessica.
Yeah, and that's
what it is. That must be what it is. Not that Jessica isn't lovely, but there's something there.
But they're like, they haven't really explored what it means, you know?
They're giving Jessica a lot of plot and not a lot of character in this movie. So it's hard to be like they're both in love with her because she's so fabulous because we don't really get to see.
I don't know a damn thing about her except for she misses her mom. Fair.
She misses her mom.
She's with Milo now. That's all I know. I don't know.
She dated Bobby and then he ghosted her and she moved on.
I don't get gay vibes from her.
No, she's so
But Addison Rae is right there, girl.
And I could see
gay vibes from Addison necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there could be something with Gabby and Jessica, but it's not like really ripe for the taking necessarily in the text. I mean, if
Mhm.
somebody did a TikTok edit where I've seen a bunch lately that's making me view some movies in new lights. Um, so I think like with the right edit, I could be sold on this concept, but I didn't necessarily see it for myself. However, something that I was going to say about Addison Rae earlier, and then I didn't because we were sort of not doing too many spoilers yet at that point of the discussion, um, was it is so interesting to me that she survives and that the Variety article I was talking about earlier, where I said he was like, oh, the survivor has to come back. It's not a Thanksgiving movie without them. Eli Roth was talking about Addison Rae, which I found interesting because to me, her casting in this movie felt very House of Wax adjacent and like the watch Paris die sort of role. Like it really seemed like that was kind of the spot that she was brought in the ensemble to be like a recognizable face among the youths.
Diet Pepsi hadn't come out yet, so
But
she
I
didn't
think-
But
have
she
us
was
in a
that bitch on
chokehold.
TikTok. She was like
Yeah,
one
but
of the
maybe-
most followed girls on TikTok in the world, right?
Yes, she is. But maybe also Eli Roth heard Diet Pepsi early
He
and
heard it
was like,
early. He was
she's
like,
a
we
star.
need her.
I need
We
her.
need her to do an original song for Thanksgiving too.
Oh my god,
It
I would
wasn't
love that
room.
actually.
We need Thanksgiving too to be like Smile too, and Addison Rae's character is a pop star
Pop
now, but
star
she
now.
comes home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Eli Roth, call us.
I can't believe she has 88.7 million followers on TikTok.
I think
Wow.
at one point she was like the most followed.
It was like her and Charlie D'Amelio. They were
Yeah,
like
they were like vying for
those girls. And Bella Porch, I think, who also is a pop star
most
now.
followed.
The TikTok star to pop star pipeline is strong. And most of the people who I care about who've done it, I've been into it. So
Right? I'm like,
Chrissy
you know what?
Chulpeka, how do you say her last name? That's my bitch. She's an incredible singer. You should check her out. She sounds like Lady Gaga. And she is gay. Just
Speaking
so
of
you
Lady
know.
Gaga, Disease is bumping.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Gotta
haven't
listen
listened to it yet.
Gotta listen.
Yeah.
Not knowing necessarily that that was her song and you saying disease is bumping was like the most shocking. I was like, what the fuck could you
You've been out in the
possibly mean?
club. Disease
What are
is
you
bumping,
fucking
girl.
Bumping the
Come on.
disease.
There's disease everywhere. I was like, oh
And
god,
it's bumping.
it's bumping. Any more gay thoughts you'd like to share before we move on?
So many more gay thoughts.
But not
Matthew
to share.
Lillard.
Because
Not
that's
to
Yeah.
share. They're private.
That was a
They're
private gay
private.
thought.
That's what I think every single time. It's like, any more gay thoughts? So many more, but not to say out loud.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
You'll never know what's going on in the
You'll
theater
never
of my
know
mind.
more.
What's going on in here? Matthew Lillard. Let's talk about him. Where would he go in this film? He could have been in this so easily. This
Yeah.
came out last year.
Well, he could have
Come on.
subbed in for literally any male role in this movie, and I think it would have been
He
at
could have
least,
been
you know what
the
I mean? There's not.
deputy.
Would have been a great deputy.
He could have been Doug, part of the secret gay couple.
Couple, yeah.
Yeah. He could have been the dad really easily. I don't think. I mean, Rick Hoffman is great, but I don't think he was like giving anything particularly unique to this
Speak
role.
for yourself. No, I'm kidding. I've not watched
I feel
Suits.
like his
I
main,
have no
yeah,
idea who that is.
his main attraction in this movie was being like, oh, that's that guy from Suits.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's Rick Hoffman. He's not necessarily like, his character in Suits is like so specific. So like you don't want him to be doing the same thing, but I know he can like really give, and he just, I felt like a lot of characters in this movie were like just kind of there.
Yeah. There wasn't like time. Like nobody had enough time to themselves, you know. There's so many little things going on. It was kind
They
of
had
a
to do
busy
so many
movie.
subplots, like mom is dead and football game is canceled, and They do Adderall from Doug, and they live in
And
dorm
party with
rooms together.
McCarty
And
and
McCarty
done.
sells drugs and alcohol, and
And
he's got a
hooray.
little friend who writes papers for people, except for when the paper was secretly a blog post by the teacher. Like, there's so many like
And
little
we
things where
like
it's
we
just
really
like
did not
they're
need that.
throwing everything at the wall and just seeing what sticks.
I feel like everything was a reference to something else, and I just didn't get all of them. I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like homage, homage, homage.
They said, Eli Roth, do you want to make a feature-length film based on your Grindhouse trailer Thanksgiving? And he said, sure, I'll take the big things from the trailer, and then how do I fill in the rest? I guess somebody needs to write a paper for school. I need just sprinkle stuff in.
He knows how to make a movie, but I think he was just having unadulterated, stupid fun in this one. I think Matthew Lillard should be at least the guy who gets decapitated because that's fun.
Yeah.
And then he would have a fake version of his head.
Of the South, which
And I want
we
that
all
for
know
him.
he
Yeah.
deserves.
I feel like he would like that. I feel like he
I
would
also
like to have
feel
that.
like that guy running away in the beginning was so not a memorable moment. I didn't even like file it away that it happened at all until they were like looking at the footage later, and they were like, yeah, one security guard ran away and one got crushed to death. And I think if that was Matthew Lillard, he would have brought something like really special there that would cement that for audiences later so that it feels like comeuppance when he gets attacked instead of being like, sure, this guy's a target.
And honestly, after all of the great things that I have heard about Tonic the cat, and their acting prowess, the cat's name is Tonic, by the way. I would love Matthew to have the opportunity to work with such an incredible feline actor.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just wanted to say that Leonardo. Oh, sorry, I fucked up the joke.
Yeah, because I
just
know
want
IMDb
to say,
trivia you're talking about.
I know. I accidentally
Try
read the
again,
wrong
girl.
word.
Give it another go.
Okay.
Sadie, sorry. Make me say the joke right. Eli Roth was calling Tonic the cat Leonardo DiCaprio on the set because he's so
I've
fast.
never heard that trivia before.
That's so cute.
I love it.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. That's cute. I hadn't heard that play on words as a cat name. It's a great option. But yeah, I think that would have been great for Matthew. Screen time, not too much. Can't make it all about him. It's about Patrick Dempsey at the end of the day. And Milo
At the end of the
Manhunt.
day, it's about Patrick Dempsey.
That brings us to Dumb Bitch.
Lonnie.
Who's Lonnie? Oh,
with the bullhorn.
With the bullhorn.
I do feel he is kind of really an inciting incident for the riot as well.
Yeah.
Like, Kathleen is a dumb bitch, but also, like, her motivations are greed for sure, but she couldn't have
didn't do it
anticipated that
dumb.
there would be a riot. You know what I mean? Like, that is not her job to be hiring security people. She just had the idea that he should open it on Thanksgiving if people are already lining up, which is a dumb bitch move because people want to be home with their families and not working. And she is the one that's upset later when Rick Hoffman is like, no, we're gonna close the store this year. And it's like, all right, girl, there literally was a tragedy last year. I think you can afford to be closed for one night. But
she's
ultimately
not dumb though, because if her goal is to make money, she's succeeding at that. But it is evil.
She
but
and
it doesn't make her
Milo
dumb.
are such little entrepreneurs, and McCarty as well.
Entrepreneurs derogatory,
They
except
should
for
all go on
McCarty,
Shark
not
Tank
derogatory.
together.
No, McCarty should go on his own, selling his I Heart Farting mugs, and I would invest.
You think he made that mug?
I could see it. He's got the entrepreneurial spirit, as we just discussed. Who's the dumbest bitch? I feel like Evan's the dumbest bitch.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of sucks.
He's so dumb. He posted a snuff video on the internet for likes. That's what
And
he
he
did.
really put so
And he
much time into
edited
it
it.
too. You know what? Yeah, exactly.
He
It's not like
watched
he
it
like
a
filmed
lot.
the video and was like live streaming on Twitter or whatever. It's not like he like put it up right away. It's like there was thought and effort that went into
Yeah.
distributing that video.
And especially with the editing.
Being like, here's my friend diving, playing defense.
Yeah. Not the best. Not the best. For me it's him.
I can get
can
behind
support
that.
that.
I'm not here to defend Evan by any means.
Thank God. We've got better things to do. Including giving our knives out of 5. So Chelsea, Oscars for
Oh
this
my
movie?
God. Yeah.
How
I actually
many
was
Oscars?
14, it said.
Whoa.
Addison Rae got no. But I was surprised by how well received this movie was. On IMDb, it has a 6.2 out of 10, which is kind of along the lines of what I was expecting. But then I went over to Rotten Tomatoes, where it has 84% fresh from critics and 79% fresh from audiences, which makes it Eli Roth's most critically acclaimed film of the films he's made, which is
Who?
crazy.
That
girl.
probably, I wonder how he feels about it.
Probably
I
good.
wonder how he
This movie
feels
is a
about it.
banger.
It's fun. Who wants to go first?
It's
I'll go.
fun. I don't know that I'd call it a banger, but Sydney, you give your score.
Let Sydney speak for herself.
Yeah. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. I think it's because it really reminds me of My Bloody Valentine, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Like,
Yeah.
it does like I didn't know what to expect, right? It's Thanksgiving. We've all seen Thanksgiving. So,
Which I kept calling this movie in the whole week leading up to recording this episode.
so I came in like really low expectations and they were knocked out of the park, right? Like,
Yeah.
this movie is super fun. This movie is like kind of funny. There's one or two things that I would change. I love Milo. So anything with him in it, I was like, you know what? This is great. Makes me want to go rewatch Zombies on Disney Channel.
Makes me want to watch School Spirits
Cool
real bad.
Spirit.
Ooh, did you see School Spirit 2 season teaser trailer?
No, I haven't. Oh my
Ooh,
God.
I'll find it and send it to y'all because
Okay.
Oh my
it's
God.
kind of a sleigh.
Oh my God, that first season is so fucking
Oh
good.
wait, maybe I have seen it. I don't recall. Actually, send it again. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, do you have more you want to say
No,
about it?
4 out of 5.
Sydney?
That's it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad we did this one. I was like not that excited to do it because like I said, I kind of had a meh experience when I saw it last year. But I think there's a beauty to this movie, not in a deep way. That's the exact reason why there's a beauty to it. It's not that deep, babes. It's not that deep. It's really not. And I love that Eli Roth just like got to play around. And I love that they didn't try to make Thanksgiving into something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like imagine if they were like, let's give this the elevated horror treatment. You can't. I mean, I know that Eli said that in this history he made up, he burned all the tapes and all the tapes from the original movie are gone and blah, 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 blah,
It was
blah.
so
But like,
offensive, blah blah blah.
it's so offensive. But like, he was basing this off of one of the fucking schlocky, stupid Grindhouse trailers. Like, come on. We know what those were, and this like couldn't be so much more highbrow than that, or I would have maybe probably been pissed off also. So I love that it was so stupid. I love that it was just like a romp. It was just a fucking romp with some fun homages in it and that sort of thing. With that said, I'm not going to give this a high score because I don't think it's like that great of a movie. But I've done this before where I've given a movie like a 3.5 and it's with love, and that's what I'm going to do. This is a 3.5 for me, but like I don't know, I wouldn't change anything. It's great for what it is. It's just like it is what it is. And thank God we have another modern stupid ass slasher movie, you know? I love that for us. It's not as good as the 80s, but they're doing their darndest. And thank you, Eli Roth. I adore you.
I will say I don't think I loved it as much as you guys did. I do think it was exactly the movie that it wanted to be. So I think it was feeling itself, and Eli Roth was feeling himself, and he was having fun, and he was on his own journey. I so wish I could have met him exactly where he was at, but not everything has to be for me, and not everything has to be to my tastes. I thought it was fun and some moments were creative, and the script was straight down the middle, which again, it wasn't about the script. It wasn't trying to be like an amazing script, you know what I mean? So I think it was one of those things. Again, the movie was exactly what it wanted to be, which for me was like a 3 knives out of 5s movie.
Yeah,
I
that's what
don't
I
know
was
that
gonna
I'll
give
go out
it
of my way
to.
to see the sequel. But I'm certainly not opposed to seeing the sequel. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if somebody was like, "You want to go see Thanksgiving too?" I'd be like, "Sure, girl, let's go." Or
I
if it
want to
was
see
like, "You
it
want
in
to watch it
theaters
on TV at home?" Like, I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever."
because
I'd see
we're
it in
A-listers. I
4DX.
want to. Oh, I would
Oh.
love to see it in 40x. I'd love to
That'd
see
be
it in
fun.
40x. I might
That'd be
go
fun.
down to 3.25. It's not from what you said. I just like was gonna give it a 3, and then I was like, maybe I'll give it a 3.5, but like that's more of a 3.25. But again, I really liked it. I had a really good time. It's fun and it's silly. And I would love to have watched it not at 7 o'clock in the morning this morning. I feel like it would have really hit with you
I
guys
can
eating
see.
a bowl of stuffing. Imagine eating a bowl
Yeah.
of stuffing while
I
watching
think
this.
if
Oof.
we were hanging out post Friendsgiving, like eating leftovers the next day and put this on the TV, I would have a more enjoyable experience for this movie because again, this movie is exactly what it wants to be, which is to say it's just having fun. And I think if you're in an environment where you're having fun with your friends, that would make it pop off a lot more than when you're watching a movie at home by yourself, where it's like this movie wasn't really giving me enough that I was like getting sucked in. It was kind of like I was like making myself pay
Yeah,
attention. Um,
totally.
but I think under different circumstances where that's the activity and we're doing it together and it's fun, I could totally see that being way better.
Awesome. Well, anyway, not Chelsea. Love you, Chelsea. Sydney, great choice. I'm glad we did this one, even though it was we didn't go crazy. I feel like I experienced the reason for the season at the end of the day. Like it's all about the people you kill on Thanksgiving. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about.
And I hope you guys were super grateful for this, super thankful for this because it's going to have to hold you over for a little while. We didn't let you know
Yeah.
in the beginning of this episode. Maybe we should, but we didn't want to bring the mood down, I don't think. But
It's not that big of a deal.
um
We're taking a much needed 2-week break. There
yeah.
you
Yeah,
go.
I just like maybe you guys didn't expect it cuz usually we do it a little later in December, but we've got big plans for later in December. So we're
November was
taking a
rough.
little November was rough. So we are taking a little breaky break and you'll see us again 3 weeks from today.
We will be back. So today this
We're
episode
taking
comes
2 weeks
out
off.
on the 26th. So you will see us again on
The 17th,
Adam's
I think.
birthday, December 17th, which is very exciting. And we will be doing a special 3 weeks of excitement, starting off
Yeah.
with the next installment of Werewolf versus, oh God,
Vampire.
Vampire Seasonal Depression
Depression
event.
event.
Every time
WWVVSDE, as Sydney dubbed it.
every time I try to call it werewolf versus depression event, I think the werewolf would fight
I think the
hardest
werewolf would
against
have a good
depression
shot against depression. But
over a
also, I do
vampire. The
think werewolf
vampires
and
are usually very depressed.
depression really hand in hand as well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true.
It's tough out
But this,
here. It's tough out here to be a monster.
but yeah, well, this just so you know what's going on in the future, so you can be excited, even though there's 2 weeks off. We're having this beautiful werewolf. We're doing this. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. I'm not saying it. We're doing the thing, and this is a special patron chosen episode. And then the week after that, we will have our Christmas special. And then the week after that, we will have our New Year's special, Fifth Tuesday extravaganza.
Yay!
So big specials coming at you 3 in a row. Whoa, wow, wow, wow. And then you get to miss us. So that's gonna be good. But what do the listeners have to look forward to after this 2-week break? Chelsea?
Well, it's very exciting. This was our quarterly vote for our patrons. We said, hey, patrons, what movie do you think would be good for WWVVSDE in December? We gave them some options, and they decided that they wanted to see the 2003 movie Underworld, which I don't think any of us have seen yet. So, or Sydney said she watched it on TV one time a zillion years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first like 10 minutes, but I wasn't really paying attention, and it was like 4 years ago. So I know so much about it. But it is literally a vampire versus werewolf movie.
And it also has Kate Beckinsale again. So
yeah,
she's really holding. She's carrying the theme through.
She's the bitch of this little special event that we're doing here. And also oh my god, Michael Sheen's in this too. Oh my god. And there's the Twilight. Whoa! Also, Wentworth Miller is in this, if you guys remember him from Prison Break, and he's super hot. So yeah, I've always been interested in seeing this, and like also the through lines to Twilight strong, because this movie's blue as fuck, blue as all fuck, bluer than you could ever imagine, significantly bluer than Twilight. I remember that from the first 10 minutes.
All I know is the patrons have been dumping GIFs in our Discord, and I've seen them, and they've been sexy, and so I am intrigued.
Looks hot. Down.
Looks hot.
Leather pants.
I'm ready.
Into it. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have a really, really good time with this one.
I think it'll be worth the wait if you're a listener.
It'll be totally worth the wait. But we'll miss you in the meantime. You can always,
so much, you guys.
You can always, slide into our DMs. Also, if you want to become a patron right now, then you will literally, you'll still hear from us every fucking second of those 2 weeks. So that's a great way to stay involved if you would like to. And then you could have your voice heard on the next quarterly vote. So it's very exciting. Big crazy. And why not say, enjoy your vacation in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Oh my God, thank you. That's so sweet of you. You're so nice. Or why not follow us on social media? We're at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything, except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. And go to spookytuesdaypod.com to find your one-stop shop for all things Spooky Tuesday. So many beautiful images of us. You will go wild. And why not follow us on YouTube? We are having a really fun time over there. And today we all just look very cute and normal. Nothing crazy about it, but we're just naturally
cozy core,
good looking,
adorable,
cozy core for Thanksgiving.
You showed up to Thanksgiving. Oh, you said cozy core. I heard pussy core. We're looking really pussy core for Thanksgiving this episode. Yeah.
Remember when Kathleen in the movie was like jeans and a sweater for Thanksgiving? You didn't even try, and it's like, girl, this is who I am. Well, guess what, girl? Get her, Monica.
Yeah. Hey, this is a very autumnal color, so I feel like that did something.
I'm wearing cheetah print bodysuit under my sweatshirt.
Are you gonna flash us right now?
Brown. These are my tits. Yeah.
Only on YouTube will you see it. But anyway, at the end of the day, we would like to say we are so thankful for you, Spooky, as our listeners. We love you so much, and thank you for listening. We're thankful. And I guess we'll see you in 3 Tuesdays. We'll see you on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday, December 17th.
Next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, December 17th.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
Bye, Spookies.
Bye.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18.
That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.